Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Susie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sharing My Truth Pod. You're here with Mel and Susie, and we are here to say, follow this podcast every day. Actually, every Wednesday, because that's when we come out with episodes. And you can do that by subscribing to this podcast. You can go to all of our socials at Sharing My Truth Pod. You can go to our website, sharingmytruth.com. You can leave us a voicemail, snail mail. You can leave us an email, which someone did, and we are going to read it today. Hey, babe.
Hello, darling.
How are you?
I'm very good, thanks.
I love that. You're always good. You're always positive. You're always gorgeous. You got your hair done today. You look stunning.
Blondie blonde.
Stunning.
The summer.
Yeah, I love that. It's kind of rainy and shit. Must remind you of the homeland.
It does, and only about 40,000 people have said that to me today. So
oh, really?
That's good.
Oh, yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I try to just be like everyone else.
But
so.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
So we did get a little message from one of our followers, listeners. We get a lot of messages from you guys, but some of them are easier to talk about in this kind of setting, and some of them are not. So this one is more about relationships.
Yes.
So it's not as deep and dirty and dark and everything like that.
Exactly.
It's just
Which sometimes it can be a little,
So obviously if you have any other kind of relationship stories, dating questions, anything like that, you guys can always ask us. We'll talk about it, and you guys can always reply about it. If you guys also agree with us or don't, you guys can let us know too about what we're about to say with this.
Yeah. And I think just to add that, this person wrote into us, who's a man, and he wants a female point of view.
Yeah. So
that's logical.
Very logical.
Us two women.
And we thank you for writing in.
Yeah.
And
for asking us.
We are hopefully going to be helpful. And we hope you'll also have a sense of humor about it, because this isn't a serious podcast. Like, let's be honest. We're gonna have a little fun.
Yeah. We have to caveat that we're not professionals. We're just two women. That's the sum total of our, professional capacity in this advice thing.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read it out, and then we'll have a chat.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, in a nutshell, here's what's bothering me. My girlfriend can beat me up. Not that she will do it, but she has already done it. For the past 6 months, we have been taking beginner judo lessons together. On the last week of our classes, our instructor allowed us to have challenge matches. Since we are the only couple, everyone in class suggested me and my girlfriend have a match. We did, and within a minute, I was sent flying by her with a judo throw I never saw coming. I'll admit that my pride was hurt. That my pride was hurt the most. My male ego got the best of me, not to mention she is very petite. I managed to congratulate her, but was seething inside and all the way home. Note, her and I lived together. The ride home was silent, but as soon as we entered our house, I blurted out that I felt she got lucky and that I was holding back since I did not want to hurt her. I guess that was a big mistake, and she asked if I wanted a rematch right there and now. At first, I said no, but after she said, I didn't think you would, I changed my mind. We put on our judo outfits, back on, rearranged some furniture, put some cushions and yoga mats on the floor for a rematch. I'm just imagining this as well, right? In a matter of seconds, this time I was flat on my back, only to pop up and immediately get thrown again while hearing her say, had enough? If persistence could overcome stupidity, I got up once more. Again, she started another judo maneuver, but stopped midway when my right arm was secured underneath her grasp. The weight of my body resting perilously on her hip, ready to somersault onto the floor. Both of my feet off the ground, I finally uttered a feeble enough.
Mm.
I'm proud of her abilities. I'm glad she will be able to protect herself, but I'm so embarrassed about my sad performance. Am I just being jealously unfair? I know time will pass and it will fade in memory, but will it? I don't want this to come between us. Sincerely, Anonymous. Oh, P.S. Now she wants us to take the next judo class, the advanced one. But I'm a bit skittish, to say the least. Maybe I should retake the beginner class? I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but this is kind of a funny situation. You can't read this and not have a little bit of a sense of humor about it.
No. And yeah, 100%. And there's a lots of things going on here. Is like obviously male ego, but I also kind of think like this girlfriend, like why do you want to make him squirm? I mean, you can see he's like embarrassed and uncomfortable, and you're like driving a knife in, and I'm not sure I understand that really.
Yeah, like I feel like there are times when I like to be kind of like better than my boyfriend because maybe they just like underestimate you, and then you're like, I told you I can fucking do something.
Yeah.
So stop. Maybe treating me like a little girl. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, for
in
sure.
the way of like I'm
sure.
actually able to do things on my own without you, kind of thing, and being like,
yeah, for sure.
Right? There's just these times, but also I, in a personal manner, still want to be like a soft and supple little woman.
You want to have a man sort of be like he sort of can take care of you and look after you in a physical and every sort of way, really.
I mean, personally, I just don't want to beat up my boyfriend.
Yeah, no.
In a way that he is not able to defend himself against me. How does that make me feel if we're both attacked?
Yeah, it's not positive.
It's not, right.
However, I would say this is judo. And I told you, I did judo when I was younger.
Yeah, you did.
And it is like, it's not the same as punching somebody in the face. So it's sort of, there's a level of skill.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if she'd done this before, or maybe because she's small, it's also easy to maneuver.
Yeah.
In judo. So I'm sure if he got her in an arm lock and was aggressive, then he would obviously overpower her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a specific skill thing. And judo, if I'm not mistaken, is often used, like I took it when I was young, when I was like a teenager, my mum wanted me to do it for self-defense.
Right.
Because it's a thing that women can do, they can kind of do, right? That you learn how to do these locks and you don't have to have this huge physical presence.
Yeah.
That's kind of judo. So maybe she's good at it because she is a small woman who can zip around.
Right.
But if he actually physically overcame her, not that he wants to, because clearly he's embarrassed about it, he probably would be able to. I think it's like, I think he should just relax a bit, like don't get so upset. This doesn't make you less of a man. But I also think she's like sticking the knife in and being a little bit like, you think I'm better than you and all this.
I mean, so like, I think there is a thing of like this relationship in general. So you took judo classes together for a reason. You both either wanted maybe some fun exercise together.
Yeah.
You wanted to do a new activity together.
Yeah.
So what was the point in the beginning of doing this class together in the first place? Was it to have fun? Was it to do activity? Was it to be good at judo? What was the point?
That's a very good point.
So like maybe go back to the reason that you both did it together. Is it to be good at judo? Because then, yeah, sure, move up to the fucking advanced class with her, and maybe you'll be better at her then. Do you know what I mean?
Who cares if she's better than you?
Exactly. It's not even the point, but there's just like that thing of like, okay, like what is the point of this? Is it just to be together? Then yeah, you should do the class with her.
Then it's fine if one person's better. But I think it's because, I mean, if they were doing painting class,
yeah, and
she was better than him, he wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? Or they were sculpting or doing something, airy-fairy. Because it's a physical thing.
Right.
That's why he's like, hang on a second, I'm meant to be the man here, and I should be better at this. Well, actually, not necessarily, because this isn't like having a bar fight and kicking the shit out of somebody. Yeah. This is sort of a skilled level of self-defense, whatever the technical term for judo is.
Yeah.
So maybe she's just better at that because she can maneuver quickly. I mean, it's a bit like, let's say you took soccer classes together and she was better than you. Would that be an issue? Would it be like, no, soccer is a man's game?
Yeah.
Or if you took, I don't know, baseball or something like that. I think it's because it's physical and it's about overpowering people, judo, that it's embarrassing because you're like, oh my God, I'm a man. I'm a grown-ass man. And sounds like, we don't know because that's all the information we have. But he's like sounds a bit like alpha male. And so he's like, it's embarrassing. And I get that. And I do think that if you're the girlfriend, maybe read into the vibe a bit and just like, chill out. But on the other hand, He needs to chill out. This doesn't say anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't say anything about his abilities to defend his girlfriend if something happens, or the fact that he wouldn't win a boxing match with Tyson Fury or
I
something.
just feel like this isn't just gonna blow over. Also, like
no, it's obviously a
going
thing.
to remember that she can beat you up.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
This is
And I get
have
that. That's
damaged
embarrassing.
the relationship.
Oh, it could have done. Yeah. And I think it's like anything in life, isn't it? You have to be aware that the outcome can always be very different.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be this, or it could be threesome, Susie. Do you like the way I brought that in? It's like it could be anything. You've got to be aware that actually something completely wild can come out of this that isn't at all within the remit of judo. The fact that you're upset because she's better than you are. And then you sort of got to accept that, haven't you?
Yeah, I just there's something about if yeah, like you said, like if it was painting, it'd be totally different. It's like
flower arranging.
Yes,
something like that.
I love a little flower arrangement. Which he might have been better than her.
He might have been better.
He might be more creative in the relationship,
that
right?
would totally mess
You
it
have
up.
no idea. Like there's things that people are better at, and obviously, like you said, like judo is a little bit maybe more because you're petite and it's easier to maneuver someone. That's why she's better. It's not about strength. It's about whatever it's called, like unagi, whatever that is.
Zipping around. Unagi.
That's not.
That sounds like...
It's not
Is
what
that from
is.
the Karate Kid? Or
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Oh my god, that is.
The fuck is that? I don't know. Something like that though. It's about it's fucking dying. It's about something like that. I think that's from Friends.
Is it? Yeah, probably.
So yeah, so it's not about strength. It's about mental capacity.
I'm bringing myself.
It's about mental
Yeah.
capacity for your opponent's weaknesses, maybe almost. And she knows that you're kind of weak in the ability of like,
no, but
she's not gonna fucking. Maybe you also are like, don't want to actually hurt her. I'm gonna give you the benefit of this little doubt here.
I think that's true.
That maybe you don't actually want to hurt her, and you are stronger in quotations than her.
You're holding back.
And you're holding back.
I think that's probably
unconsciously.
True. Yeah.
Right.
And then she's doing the whole mental thing that she knows that.
Yes.
I think there's a whole load of shit going on there. I mean, here's an idea. Maybe judo isn't for both of you.
Yeah.
Maybe she should carry on with the judo because she's good at it. And at the end of the day, it's going to help her if she's in a situation where she needs to, defend herself or whatever. She's obviously good at it. So why don't you let her continue and you go and find something else to do? You've done this thing together and just quietly, I mean, back away. Although she may bring it up a lot. And I think you're going to have a discussion about, okay, just, let's just stop talking about it.
I know. Seriously, like it's hard when things like actually kind of break down a relationship in a way that you're not really realizing that they might.
Yeah.
Especially for something that happened so suddenly and you weren't really seeing coming as well. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, I've never taken judo. Although I think I might be good at it because I am also petite.
I think you would be very good.
And I'm good at maneuvering.
I think you'd be very good.
And I'm also good at pointing out people's weaknesses when they don't want
to.
Yeah.
I think you'd be good.
And so I feel like if I were to do this with my boyfriend or something, or like another guy, and I were to win or whatever the match, win the match. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be as like, I don't want to say like attracted to you, but like, there's something that comes down being like, is this really my guy if he can't man up a little bit?
Of a man.
I'm not saying beat her up, but I'm saying like, really think about maybe this isn't even the girl for me if she's going to do this to me and feel good about her doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's a very tricky situation.
There's a lot going on here. I mean, look, we don't know where you are in your relationship.
Yeah.
And you live together, so that's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
But I think maybe judo is not the thing for the both of you. Maybe you should try cooking classes.
Wine tasting.
Great. Wine tasting.
Something sexier than judo.
Yeah, I think wine tasting is excellent.
Let her have judo. Maybe you can do a flower arrangement for her.
Yeah, it's very nice. Flowers. I love creative men. But sensitive men. But I think there probably is an element here with this guy that he probably was holding himself back and probably, but it's just a skill. Maybe she's just better at this kind of skill that judo has. And I mean, it's kind of, I think you have to stop yourself going down this rabbit hole. I really think you have to stop that.
Yeah.
I think she also has to pull back. So I think if it is really upsetting you, I think you have to say, look, maybe say to your girlfriend, you're really good at it. So you go on and do the advanced class. Say, look, I'm obviously not very good at it. I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't want to be physical with you in this way. Can we just not keep bringing this up and communicate that and say, look, I'm feeling a little hurt and I'd be honest, like my male ego's been a little kind of, what's the word, bashed up a bit.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be honest about it because that's the truth. And at the end of the day, if she's the right girl for you, she'll get it. And if she's not, she won't. And then you might meet somebody at the wine tasting class.
Yeah. Like
because I just think you shouldn't weigh up your entire masculinity, which is what you're doing. And men do this, where they sort of weigh everything up, like your whole male ego. A lot of men have it in their job, is all wrapped up in this thing. Like, that's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. I also personally, I don't believe in relationships wherein you're in competition with each other. I'm not personally in competition with my husband. He's not in competition with me. I just think it's futile. Why do you want to compete with your partner?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
You both have different skills. You're better at some things than others, and that's fine. You don't have to be good at everything. You don't have to make the same amount of money. You don't have to. It's not a competition. You're there to be there for each other. So I think that would be my advice. Judo is not for you, Anonymous. And you should let your girlfriend carry on.
Yes.
And do the advanced class. And you should find another interest, which I'm sure you can find.
What if he likes judo, though?
It doesn't sound like it.
No. Also, don't go back to the beginner class. If you're going to fucking go for it, do the advanced class with her if you really want to do this still with her.
Yeah.
But also, if you're okay with just accepting that she is going to be better than you at this, maybe just let that happen.
Yeah, I think that exactly.
Maybe take boxing classes, and I'm not just yourself.
Yeah,
to feel kind of better about it
more
for you,
masculine. Yeah,
and then she'll take judo classes. And I'm not saying you guys fucking play fight because that's aggressive, and I don't want you to punch her or anything like that. I don't want her to fight you at all. Ever, anyways. But you can do other physical things that are very similar that may make you feel a little bit better. Also separately, you don't have to do this together anymore.
Exactly. Also,
save the relationship over that.
If you know yourself as a man, if you know, if you're physically strong or you're a big man or whatever it is, which we don't know, then you know that you have the strength, right? You know this is the type of thing we're talking about. So is it the bigger question that you actually aren't? I don't know. That's another whole layer of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you need to think about that. I think judo is a red herring. It's you know who you are as a man, and if you're physically bigger or stronger, and you could overcome her just perhaps not using judo. I'm not saying in any way you want to do that. You don't want to do that. But are you in this questioning your masculinity or strength? Doesn't sound like it to me. It sounds like it's just this thing, judo, where you're not as good as her. So what? It happens to be physical. It happens to be a self-defense, a thing of physically overpowering somebody. But so what? I mean, like he says at the end, you should be pleased that she's good at it because anything happens, she'll be great.
Yeah.
And I think there is probably an element that you have held yourself back. I mean, I honestly think if you're physically bigger and stronger, this is your girlfriend, you don't want to hurt her, and certainly hope you don't want to. And absolutely sounds like that's not what's going on here. And it's obviously just not the right forum. And just let her carry on, because that's great if a woman's good at that, a self-defense sport, great. Go and do something else.
Yeah, allow her to have this thing and just 100%. Have a conversation about being love that you're really good at this and that maybe it's just not my thing or my path for it. and I can't wait to come see you at your final match. or
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
it's called.
And maybe you'll joke about it that, she's better at it.
and that's
But-
cool.
But if you're a big man, like a physical man, obviously she's not stronger than you. I mean, we're not going to get into any weird.
and it's okay if she is stronger than
wokery
you.
here, but
I just
you're
don't
not-
want you to feel like you have to be good at this thing because
No,
she's good at this thing.
exactly. That's just silly. Just because it's a physical thing, she's good. She's better than you. Great, but you know who you are, and if you are, it sounds to me like you're shocked that she's better. So it sounds
Yeah.
to me like you are a bigger man. So what are you worried about?
I think it's just shocks because she's a woman.
Yeah, and she's
Any guy is a
small.
little shocked.
Yeah, and physically smaller and everything. But I think you should actually turn this into great. You're better at this than me. That's fantastic. You can defend yourself. I think you should carry on and do really well. Have a little bit of a joke about it. Let it go. You go and do something else. Have a conversation like you kind of need to drop the putting me down about
Mhm.
this kind of thing, if that's what she's doing, and move on.
Yeah, as long as she's also like not like kind of like baiting you with it. Right?
Yeah, that's what
Like-
was not clear. And if she's doing
Yeah.
that, then you really need to have a conversation because that's not nice.
And like if that's the kind of like her personality, and we have no idea if that's what it is, but like if that's her personality of like kind of like not making fun of you, but just kind of like poking at your little sores a little bit.
Yeah.
And like not really realizing she's doing it or not really caring, which is even worse. Like then you do need to have a more serious conversation and kind of think to yourself if this is the kind of person you want to spend your life with.
I think
if
that's
you
a very
live
good
together
point.
already, right? Like
I think that's a really good point. If she is somebody who kind of, I guess, picks at your weaknesses or
Yeah.
kind of goes on about
because
them.
no one likes that.
No. And I think also if you are a very sort of alpha masculine man,
Yeah.
and when you laugh at men like that or you try and intimidate them, they hate it. And it's not because they're arseholes. It's because they're manly and they want to feel that they're looking after you and they're in control. And that is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be upset about that, I don't think. And you shouldn't make fun of somebody. I don't see the point of that, especially somebody in a relationship.
Well, yeah.
It's not a competition.
If someone were like to treat me not as like ladylike as I like to be treated because I'm
Yeah.
a very feminine person,
Yeah.
and if they were just like, I don't know, like I have no idea what an example of this would be, but like commented about like how I walk in a really manly way or something. I
Right.
would be very self-conscious is
Yeah.
all I'm trying to say. Like there's just things
Yeah.
that I'd be like, oh my God, am I not the person kind of I thought I was?
Yeah.
It's a really stupid example, but do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like there's just like ways that people can poke at you in a weird way that make you kind of second guess who you actually are. Even though they're small things, they still kind of
Yeah.
complete who you think you are as a person. And then you kind of have to like go with your self-esteem and be like, oh my God, am I questioning my actual who I am?
100%. I think the issue here is that I don't think he has an issue with her being better at something. It's just that it's a physical thing.
Yeah.
And he feels that less of a man because he should be able to do this sort of thing. And it's okay for her to be better. I think you just need to, it's okay for her to be better than you.
Yeah. Women are better than men at a lot of fucking things.
Things.
Oh my God. Like most things. Can I just be honest?
Yeah.
We're better at a lot of things.
Yeah. And really, judo, you should be pleased.
Yes. God damn it. You should be
it's
pleased.
really great. It just, if she keeps poking fun at you, I think you should have a conversation. Again, I'm going to say it again. I think she should go on and become a martial, whatever, fucking judo mastery person, whatever the hell that is. Don't you think?
Yes.
And you should, I don't know. I tell you what, here's an idea. She goes off to judo classes on a Tuesday night, for example. It's your night to cook and buy her flowers and
that's
something
literally
like
what
that.
I was going to say
Do
too.
something nice like
It's
that.
so nice.
She goes off, you do something, you have a lovely time together. That's the end of it. But you still know you're a man. You still know that you can, if let's say you're out somewhere, you could defend her, which sounds to me like that is the case. It's just you won't be using judo to do that. So that's it, really.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, honey. You're probably a really good person and you love your girl, I think.
Well, I think so. Otherwise,
I
you
think
wouldn't
you
have written
appreciate
to
her.
us.
Exactly. There's just things that maybe you need to figure out with her and she needs to figure out with you to make your relationship stronger, keep it strong, but you don't always have to do everything together, and you can
100%.
keep doing your own thing. You guys can figure out what each other does and doesn't like. And this relationships are a journey, and it's exciting to be a part of them.
100%.
Don't put so much pressure on yourself.
Don't. And she could become really, really good at it. And it could be your like little joke with people that you started doing this together and you were shit at it and she was amazing.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it's brilliant. And it's kind of funny.
Now, because of that, you took a cooking class, and now you're fucking executive chef at a Michelin-star restaurant.
Very good,
Who
Susie.
knows?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I hope this has in some way helped, Mr. Anonymous.
Somewhat insightful. But yeah, so if you are listening, sir, we really appreciate your input and your story. Thank you for sharing your truth with us. And if you want to reply back saying that you figured it out, or maybe a follow-up, we would absolutely love that. If any of this advice helped at all. But if not, we also want to hear from our other listeners, and what do you guys think of what he should do or not do? We'd love to know.
And if you have sort of similar situations where you're kind of stuck like this guy, like he feels he should feel one thing and be another thing, and he's sort of stuck between the two, essentially.
100%.
Yeah. Like his male ego and him as a boyfriend, he's a little stuck between the two.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it's pretty normal. And but yeah, anybody who has a story, or a woman who has a similar kind of story, who've kind of on the flip side of maybe something a woman should be good at, but she's not.
Yeah.
Like me, I can't cook.
Oh, and I'm bad at cleaning.
But I don't think I think it's great.
I just don't care. I don't care about, I'm like, I can hire someone to do that.
That's true. You can.
Christ.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway.
Everyone has flaws and everyone has strengths.
Absolutely.
And you got to lean into your strengths and forgive your flaws.
Absolutely. And they don't always fall into you're a man, you're a woman.
No.
Let's just chill out.
Just fucking chill out and judo chop.
Judo chop.
Was that politically correct?
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, that's karate, isn't it? Yeah, she's...
I can't wait to take my judo class on Tuesday. Talk about it with you and beat you out.
Anyway, that's it. That's all we got.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. You guys can always find us at sharemytruth.com, where you can share your truths with us. We're going to share my truth pod. You can DM us some fun other things. Maybe if you've taken the judo. Maybe if you were in the class, you saw it and you videotaped it. We want to see that. Right?
Yeah, great idea.
All right. We'll see you kitchers later.
The what?
I don't know. You kitchers.
What does that mean?
Bye. Judo chop.
Okay. Toodles. Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod, and leave us a voicemail on our website, sharingmytruth.com, to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.